Hey MacLeod, it is I, Dewdrop-verse, and today we're doing something a little bit different today. So since the release of Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 being around the corner, I kind of feel like it's going to be a good time to kind of recap all the teasers and sort of the characters that might appear in Chapter 4. And of course I probably might not include the ARG as that's already been concluded. And yeah, so this is going to be a very experimental video for me, as this is my first probably commentary video. So if you guys want me to do more of these, let me know in the comments. But now without further ado, let's begin this whole recap of everything we need to know about Chapter 4 so far. Ahoy MacLeod, it is I, Dewdrop-verse from the future. So before we start the video, I want to give a quick mention that, yeah, as we're recording this video, January 20th, 2025, marks the first year anniversary I posted a video on this channel. So yeah, I just want to get that out of the way first to celebrate sort of a 1 year anniversary and kind of. So yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys' support for my channel so far, and hopefully we'll keep it going. So anyways, back to the vid. So before we get to the screenshots and trailers of Chapter 4 on the Steam page, I think we should probably take a quick look at the description on Chapter 4 as a whole. So, it says the following: brace yourself for the darkest chapter yet in the epic Poppy Playtime saga, which I think would be a key importance we'll get to soon. You are pushed deeper into the undiscovered depths of the Playtime Co. factory, far below anything the world knew. Here you will encounter terrifying new threats and discover shocking revelations. Can you outwit the unnatural new creations lurking in the shadows? Can you survive here long enough to eventually unravel the mysteries behind the experiments? Every step will test your courage, every puzzle will challenge your mind, and every corner may be your last. And next we have the features, which say the following: new characters and allies, and that's going to be another thing that could be important, by the way. New extraordinary characters guide your way and haunt your nightmares. Expanded lore, discover more about the dark secrets of the Playtime Co. and its twisted past. Mind-bending puzzles, solve intricate puzzles that could mean the difference between life and death. Heart-pounding atmosphere with haunting visuals and immersive sound design. The terror never lets up. And will you escape the horrors hidden within Playtime Co., or will you succumb to the terror? Survival isn't guaranteed, fear is. So I think the first thing we gotta unpack is basically the darkest chapter in the Poppy Playtime saga so far. Since we already know Chapter 3 was already dark enough, since we got a lot of dark stuff revealed from I think the Hour of Joy is one of them. But I think in either one, such as like Dog Day, his crucifixion and being possessed by the mini critters, I think is also something to take into account. And also Miss Dwight's gradual insanity, which also is there as well. And then there's new characters and allies. And the only ally we only saw last before the end of Chapter 3 is Poppy, who went down with us in the underground facility with Kissy being attacked as she lured the elevator. So technically, either we could see Kissy returning, or we actually might have new characters that might be our allies as well. And then there's solve integrated puzzles, which easily could mean like easily newer puzzles, which we already have newer puzzles that were at least a little bit simpler, not the wrapping around, you know, the coil thing like we got in Chapter 1 and 2. So either it might be the same thing with the you know, moving the tower thing and getting to the power switch, or we actually might get newer puzzles that actually could challenge us. So that's one I think I might be excited for. And kind of with and next there's their heart-pounding atmosphere. So this one I think is easily, so this one easily could be just like Chapter 3, where it has immersive sound design, since we already had like a nightmare sequence in the Home Sweet Home orphanage with the nightmare sequence with Catnap stalking us in the halls, and you know, we can hear him purring in the halls, and then ending it with the nightmare Huggy chasing us and then eating us whole. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty exciting. So yeah, I think that's all I can talk about the description. And sorry if the whole thing is confusing, you know. Yeah. But anyways, let's get to the screenshots of this on Steam page right now. Alright, so the first image we have here is basically what looks to be like a reception desk at like what you see in like businesses. So, and we also get to see this again in one of the trailers, so keep an eye out for that. And something we also got to keep an eye out of is this specific symbol that is gonna mean something, which either this means like something like a prison symbol, like either elite members of Playtime Co. That's where I'm assuming it's supposed to represent like the elite members. And we also get the fake light windows that one of the notes in chapter 2 were complaining about. And here, what we could probably assume either is a storage container or something like a either what looks something like a TV or something right there. So yeah, basically, as far as we can tell, yeah, this is probably gonna be like a prison-esque experimental building-esque thing. Since I think when we first when chapter 4 was teased, we all thought it was gonna be like a amusement park since we found like a poster of like a theme park-esque thing like in chapter 3. I think it was like earlier before we entered Playcare, so yeah, I don't think there's anything I can talk about here, other than the visuals are basically looking amazing so far. Alright, so now next image right here is basically what looks to be something like a trash, I don't think it's a trash compactor, but I think it looks like some sort of like some sort of garbage chute thing, since we actually get to see some trash, and I think that either something where we fall through somehow. So either way, you might actually see someone in here with us, or this is like a prison cell. And I don't think I think like first image, I don't think there's anything we can talk about here so far. So on to the next image. So this one here looks pretty promising. So right here is one that easily stands out here is a generator. So either that's going to be one of the new puzzles, either we got to find a power up a generator or something like that. I think it's kind of like a Hello Neighbor-esque thing where we either had to find a generator and turn it on or something like that. But there's also one thing right here, that being, yep, the cave system has returned, since we got that from chapter 3 when we escaped the school. I think that's when the first time we saw it. So yeah, I think the cave system is gonna probably get more deeper and more deeper. And something right here is that if we look right here, there's a pipe, and right here in the off corner is basically red light. So I think that's gonna mean something. And the pipes are going to be important later on, so yeah, we might get to figure out what the red light is. Alright, so the next one here this is basically what our speculations were correct. Yep, this is actually a prison. So, yeah, this is basically, we got some piles of what we could assume is either like, I think I was going to assume this is like toy corpses, but then again, when we look at another trailer with a lot of them, I think this is not. Either we can assume this is either rubble or something worse, like flesh. And then right here is very concerning. Yep, one of the cells is open. So I think this one is either was broken out by one of the new antagonists, Yardaby. I think that's where I'm probably speculating made this hole. Or this could be either made by one of the creatures we had faced before, either Huggy, but then again, he was already up there in the beginning, so we could either assume that it's a new character, either the upcoming, still needs to be teased, Dowie the Dough Man, I think that's what his name is, the whole, and yep, there's also barbed wire here as well, so either is actually the most, definitely high restricted place in Playtime Co. Then basically Playcare and possibly maybe the labs. So on to the next image. And right here is also another cave system like we got in chapter 3. And then we get to our return to our old friend, the Purple Hands, where we basically, I guess it's gonna be like a simple like parkour-esque puzzle where we just like normally just jumped, use our grab hand. So yeah, I think there's either, so yeah, and right there is either, right here is a blocked door. And so I guess either that's where we need to get to, or that's something else. Barricade. And so yeah, I'm thinking that's nothing we can really talk about here, other than it's still really impressive. Alright, so this one right here is definitely jam-packed with something we got decode. Right here, we got storage containers, and also, yep. So this is either the storage room where we actually, and right there is a door, so either you might actually get to, so either this might be some sort of like, I mean, it kind of reminds me of that, Indigo Park thing, where like, with, you know, Lloyd the Lion thing. Lloyd the Lion. Seeing that always, that still does terrify me when I first played for that. And I think so, yeah, I don't think there's nothing else we can say about this one either. So on the next picture. So this one I think is definitely gonna be important. So we definitely, I think I could try and write the image as much as I can, but right here, we have monitors on that pillar. So that is, so the monitors are gonna be really important. So we gotta remember that. And then there, so this room is definitely looks to be like, either I'm assuming this is like either like some sort of temperature core or something, but I think there's the one that easily sticks out to me here is definitely this. And you could probably see the familiarity, something familiar right away. So this is basically the same walls, patterned cells that we saw in chapter 3 where we saw Dog Day, and definitely where we saw where Catnap used to reside before breaking out. And it's also needs to be justified that it's behind a bookcase. And this is definitely this is behind some window, non-see-through window on the other side. So either this is gonna be like the orphanage where we actually get to see how do the bigger bodies initiatives work while them being safe and not be seen. So, alright. And definitely this one, I think it's hard to, either this looks like a phone or like a toy burnt. But I think there's something that we can talk about that one. It's hard to just see that one, what it looks like. So yeah, this one's definitely gonna, so this room is definitely gonna be important. And I think there's also intercom speakers, megaphones as well. So yeah, this is either gonna be like something like important to the story. This is like either gonna be the main hub or something like that, like the Playcare, like the like outside area is basically the main hub of the chapter. So yeah, I'm thinking this one's gonna play a different key point in the chapter. Alright, second to watch this image is definitely another one important. So again, we got, well, at first this might seem like a normal mine shaft, but I think there's one that easily sticks out to me the most, that being this little lass. Yep, folks. Yep, lads, this is literally Bobby Bearhug in ruined critter form. And so I think that either speculates something else. Either we're gonna have returning characters, like either the return of the mini nightmare critter, the mini smiling critters, are either gonna hunt us again in this mine shaft, which is definitely gonna be terrifying since I got jump scared once by them. So since I think there's also, since as on an upcoming segment of the video, we actually get more lore between this normal critters and the nightmare critters, which we'll get to soon. And I think, speaking of which, either this one, we actually might get to see either one of the critters in this room, one of the nightmare critters, who we'll definitely get to soon. So yeah, this one definitely is a bit shocking to see one of the the mini smiley critters returning. So yeah, that's gonna be a very terrifying experience for me. And now we get to the very last one, that being, and yep, there's the pipes filled with the red smoke that we basically, flushed out, and which explains the, the red light, which could explain the red light from earlier. And then we got this big, water facilitated tank, which it kind of reminds me of that acid bath, that acid tub from Rick and Morty, if you guys seen that episode. And even though there's one that stands out is the weirdly untextured button, what appears to be a button. So yeah, this kind of looks like the water treatment thing from chapter 2, previous chapters. So either we might actually get something important from this one. But yeah, so we got the gas, or the red smoke, basically traveling somewhere, and we still don't know where it's going. So I think either we might actually get to figure out where it is, or where it's coming from. So yeah, I think that's all the images I think we are going to talk about. So now I guess we'll get to the trailers real quick, and we'll see what we got. Alright lads, so before we get to the trailers, I want to give a quick mention to the Steam promo pictures for Chapter 4 real quick, just to get them out of the way first. So our first one that we got for the chapter is basically, the first one we got is Baba Chops, who will basically talk more about her later in the next section. And then there's Yarnaby, who is staring at our souls. I mean, both of them are staring at our souls menacingly.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
And then we get to the one we all know now, the monitor head of the Doctor, who we'll get to him very soon. So yeah, so I think before we do it, so yeah, when we first saw Baba Chops, I actually kind of thought that she was supposed to be like a scrapped replacement for Catnap, since in the lore of the orientation notebook, basically Catnap was basically the main reason that the critter toy line in the show was pulled from everywhere, since due to how creepy he was. So I kind of thought that she was supposed to be like a replacement for him, since I guess I watched a little bit of a lot of GamerJube, since they also did a Forgotten Critter series with the replacements for Catnap. So yeah, so now that we got that out of the way, let's check out the first trailer, the first teaser. So here we go. Alright, so we got a mini dog day. Yeah, damn, this is a massive bloodbath, yeah. Oh, there's Baba Chops. And, okay, yep, the dog day's going, basically unleashing his piggy, and yep. Okay, oh yep, we got her oh yep. Damn, that's a lot of bodies. Right, chapter 4, coming this January. So yeah, let's go a little bit, see if there's anything. So basically, so we're assuming that this is a mini critter version of Baba Chops. So we're not sure if we're gonna see the Bigger Bodies Initiative version of her yet. So, but yeah. So I'm guessing this is gonna be one of the areas in the game with and there's that symbol again with the 3 layered boxes inside each other. And there's the gas, the red smoke pipe again. So yeah. So either this might actually represent either Dog Day, like the bigger body initiative version of him, like being like eaten alive, or by the mini critters, since they either ate his organs. But yeah, pretty disturbing image to think about. So yeah, so we're guessing, yeah, it's basically now down here. It's basically every critter for themselves. Basically, just every single one just cannibalizing each other or killing each other in order to survive. So yeah, pretty gruesome one. So now we get to the next one, that being Yarnaby. So let's see this one. Alright, we hear Poppy. Immediately, yep, immediately starting us off after everything. Alright, more of the red smoke pipes. Right. There's that symbol again. Okay. Cave 1S. Okay. And there's that graveyard with the critter bodies again. And there's that symbol again. Oh. That. Okay. Wait, can we go back to see what it was, or? So I think that's actually Yarnaby. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's what it is. Yep. We're definitely gonna be bringing the smoke somewhere. Right. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh. Okay, there's a catnap doll that just got squashed. The camera's watching us. Oh, there's Yarnaby. And there's the main entrance we saw earlier. And yep, there's that eye with the I think that's actually a dead catnap toy. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's what it's supposed to be, like a dead catnap or something. And oh, yep. Oh. Oh no. Yep. Oh, that is terrifying. Oh. 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 Yep. That's gonna be the biggest nightmare fuel for me. That is just, damn. It's basically now just xenomorph. Damn. Alright. January 4th. Or not January 4th, January chapter 4. Wish list now. So basically, alright, so yeah, we're basically bringing the red smoke somewhere. Oh, yep. So either we're actually bringing the red smoke and the pipes are probably going to leak somewhere in the cells. So I think that's where we're going with. I think that's where I'm going to go with, so. Right. And I think that's supposed to be catnap, or I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be. And here's this tune. And I think we actually hear that before, since we got like since the only ones in chapter, since we heard some of the static ones in chapter 3, like Mommy Longlegs in like chapter 2 with her cutout, and one with Daddy Longlegs and Baby Longlegs as well, and also there's Catnap. So either that we actually might kind of get a cutout of Yarnaby, or that's what sounds he makes. So yeah. And so basically since if you guys follow the ARG, we now know the origins of Yarnaby. He was basically another human child test subject named Quinn, who basically was taken under the wing of Harley Sawyer, and then turned after his just to improve his game station scores, and then he turned into the lion xenomorph hybrid we all know now. So yeah. Alright, so now we get to the last one, but before we do that, I think we'll probably go somewhere. Alright, so now we'll probably watch the quick so now right here we'll watch the quick one, the Pianosaurus one promo. So here we go. Alright. Yep. There he is. And there's that, hold on. Yep, there's that, eye again. Alright, chapter 4. So yeah, I don't think there's anything I can talk about here in detail, so either we might assume that since Pianosaurus was a character that was revealed in like an ARG as well, so. And I think there's also another one that's a Jester-like character as well, or the Zoe character. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can talk about here, so let's get to the last trailer on Steam. Alright, here we go. Alright, epilepsy warning for you lads. Alright. Mob Entertainment. Rebooting. Okay, we got a little bit of fire. Semi-William Afton. Right.
Where am I?
Oh, yep. Oh, bigger bodies. My creations.
What is this?
Oh. Right. No body.
This is wrong.
I am broken.
You rat-saddled traitors.
Oh, I am. Oh, so this is like a prison. Different. In our cave system. Somewhere.
I have no idea what kind of mistake you just made.
Strong.
Yes.
Oh, yep. Nowhere and yet.
The minds of men.
Everywhere.
Easy to break.
I am.
Mine could be broken too.
No man. Oh, yep. There he is. The doctor. Oh, yep.
You were wrong.
Oh, yeah. Alright. Chapter 4. Safe Haven. Alright. Alright, and there's a release date. January 30th. Next week. Or sort of like in a couple days, as if this video comes out soon. So yeah. So I'm thinking there's like a lot to unpack a little bit. So there's the fire, which is people theorize to be connected to the theater incident, from, if you guys play Project Playtime, there's a map called the Theater. So I thinking I think I kind of want to do like an in-depth video of the theater incident and how it is explained the story of Project Playtime. But I kind of feel like either Tom from Game Fury or Sheep Rampage may feed me to it, sort of. So here's the IT. So yeah, this is basically this guy. We'll get to soon who the guy is, who this man is. So, right. Okay. Alright, so we got Boxy Boo. Alright. Bigger Boys Initiative. And Active Power +2 109 process. Alright, Prototype. Alright, Yarnaby, Huggy, Catnap. Alright, I think I probably might need to write down some of them. So this one says here, my creations and fourth across the way forward passenger and fourth across the water.
What is this?
Alright. So I think we might have seen, so obviously I kind of heard that we may have seen this before, since this room is basically, or that kind of feels familiar, this room kind of is basically the room from chapter 2 if you go out of bounds, so. Alright, right, so. Alright, no body. Where is my body? So either we're...
This is wrong.
Right. Right. They broke me. Alright. Waiting. I think it says waiting a little closer. A little closer each time. Closer.
You rat-savage traitor.
And that line will come important eventually. Right. Right. A little closer each. And closer. I will find it a little closer each. I am... Question mark. So yeah, this is basically, essentially, yeah, just a prison for the Bigger Boys Initiative. Where they were basically kept before they, like, broke out and went on a killing spree. Right. Alright, different. I have changed. Alright, there's the fire again, and somewhere my mind is intact. Therefore, I think... Right?
You have no idea what kind of mistake.
Right, thinking... So right here is, what we're assuming to be like I probably might need to blur it a little bit for YouTube's sake, but I'm probably assuming this is basically belongs to, the blue fur belongs to Huggy, so, yeah.
You have no idea what kind of mistake you just made.
Right, alright. And before we get to that last image that flashed, you will regret this. Stop this will not stop me. Not stop me. This will not. This will not stop me.
Yes.
So yeah, we got every machine rebooting.
Yes. You know what kind of mistake you just made.
So yeah, right here is and we got this little quick hand that might be important, since we saw that like that grab pack like panel from earlier in like the Yarnaby trailer. So this one this will be a new hand to replace the green hand from chapter 3. And we got this statue thing. I think I could see the face of Huggy, I think. So, why does that kind of remind me of the Cyclops a bit from the Cyclops from SpongeBob?
This bigger boot saved our lives!
Yeah! Right. Right. I am. Where am I? I am only. I am mind only. And I can use it, and yet.
The minds of men
Right. Everywhere.
are easy to break.
Right. I will fix. Will. No one could flee a broken world.
You believed mine could be broken too.
Right. Alright. One step closer. You cannot stop me, but you cannot infinite IOU. Thought you could. Okay. And there's the. Yep. There he is. So this character, we're actually assuming this is Elliot, or not Elliot, but Harley Sawyer, aka the Doctor himself. Yep. So we're guessing Harley is basically his like, I think not his soul, but since, you know, like Playtime's lore is just basically your nerve cells and brain are now uploaded into, you're inserted into a toy's body. So basically, yeah, his conscience is now in a machine. So yeah, that makes 3 AI characters, Rambley, Chip, and now we got the Doctor. So yeah, it kind of gives me a bit of like a, you know, Bertrand Piedmont vibes from Bendy Chapter 4. When we see like presumed to be him like as a boss fight carnival ride. So yeah. So yeah, so we can assume that yeah, he basically is watching us everywhere in this facility with the TVs everywhere. So yeah.
You were wrong.
So yeah, it's okay, either that's his head or he has a Glock, so that's something. And then we get to, yep, Chapter 4, Safe Haven. So either we actually, in Chapter 4, we actually might get an answer to the theater incident. So, yeah. Right. So yeah, I think that's the trailers I think I've got for this section. So I think we'll probably get to the nightmare critters right now, and we'll explain each of them, and I'll probably go over their descriptions, and I'll explain what they could mean. Alright, Hoy me laddies, is I Dewdrop-verse from the future. So 2 hours ago, our Mob Entertainment on YouTube did a community post saying our gameplay trailer is coming soon, but first, how about some action shots? And hot damn, these look absolutely. I mean, I think there's full videos related to So yeah, we got Yarnaby right here, basically about to attack us, and yeah, for some reason I can't zoom in for this one. So yeah, you should yeah, just a little quick update for it. So now back to the critters. Ahoy, my laddies! It is I, Dewdrop-verse from the future again. Yeah, damn it. So yeah, I think at this point if I keep going back and forth from past to future, either I might at this point become either Rex Dangerous or something else at this point. So yeah, as on Saturday, the gameplay trailer, or we're assuming the final trailer for Chapter 4 is dropped, and we have our new banner poster, which went from Harley Sawyer to this lad, who we'll get to soon. So yeah, we're gonna react to the trailer, and hopefully this will be the last trailer for me to react to, and then we'll get to the Nightmare Critters. So here we go, lads. Alright. Alright. We got a little bit of dough. Doughy. Yep. Alright.
Down here, it's not like anything you've
Poppy.
seen above. It's hell.
Okay, has been. Okay, yep, there's what we
Playtime
saw.
wanted it to be.
Oh, Harley.
They call him the Doctor. He
Oh,
works with the
okay, that's one we got. Look at.
Everything down here.
Red smoke. Oh, Yarn B.
Haunting us.
Safe haven.
Us.
There are no places you can hide.
Okay then.
Not from
Oh.
me.
Oh, what the heck?
I've got something
Oh, Kissy's alive. Oh, well, Kissy's alive. Okay.
We need to make this
Oh.
right.
Oh, okay, this is giving me like. Oh, Nightmare Critters. Okay, this is like.
Let's make a game of you.
Oh, okay, look. So there are many critters as well. Oh, Beosaurus.
Failed you.
Oh, Baba Chops. Oh, lied to us. Oh,
Hiya there.
yep, there he is.
pal. Follow me.
Yep, there's our new lad. Joey the Dough Man. Alright. Alright, chapter 4. Very slowly with the 4. Safe Haven. Alright, so that was the gameplay trailer. Yep, coming next week, lads. Or hopefully a day before when this video posts, hopefully. So yeah, to keep this, I think we'll go for minor ones to get it. Which ones we may missed. So this is what we saw earlier in the screenshots. If you guys looked at the thing earlier with the commentary, YouTube commentary posts from Mob Entertainment. So that's a little shot.
And Playtime wanted it to be.
Okay, we got Poppy.
Now what's this?
So this one, I think in this looks like a the Playtime sort of like playhouse from Chapter 3. I think that looks like it. Right.
They call
Nurse symbol.
him the Doctor.
So I think that's the same voice from the doughy guy. So they call him the Doctor. So basically now that we are very clear that basically the real antagonist for Chapter 4 is basically the Doctor, aka Harley.
He works.
And this one is definitely very much something that's unexpected. So this is basically our first dead body, or assuming dead body from before we got here, our first dead body of one of the Playtime victims. I mean, I think it's not the first one technically, since we saw a real skeleton on the prototype shrine that Catnap made in Chapter 3. But I think this is like either one that was actually like fresh made. So yeah. So this chapter is definitely going to be very darker than Chapter 3. That's what I'm pretty excited about.
With the prototype.
Alright, that's a red hand. So we might get a red hand back for some reason.
Works with the prototype.
So, okay, let's go back again.
He works with the prototype.
So the Doctor basically works now with now we know the Doctor is working with the prototype. since we all thought the doctor was supposed to like keep out. We all thought when we first met him, or when we first realized the doctor is Harley Sawyer, we all thought the doctor was supposed to like wanting to keep the prototype out. So I think and so it's gonna be weird that we might not know. So far, we don't know why he wants to work with the prototype. Either it could be like a way to free him from the cell he's in. So yeah, or we could probably assume the prototype is someone he knows.
Commands everything down here.
Right, he commands everything.
Hunting us.
Right. So safe haven. So yeah, I think Poppy Theory kind of broke it down with some of them, with the faces for safe haven. I am scared. We are safe. So there's some that I can break down a bit. I think this one is Bobby Bear Hug. This one I think is Dog Day, Crafty Corn, and I think this one is supposed to be either. I think this one's Diesel Hoppy Hopscotch, and this one's Bunzo, Brawn, and I'm not sure who's this supposed to be either. I don't think it's Kickin' Chicken, or either it could be like representing like the player character, like what we saw in the VHS in the beginning of the game. And there's one right here saying with Poppy here crossed out, and says here she left us. So either like we're not gonna trust Poppy in this one. Right.
There are no places you can hide.
So this one is definitely gonna be interesting. We're basically gonna get stealth elements in this chapter. So basically Yarby is gonna have like a free roaming thing. So some of it is not gonna be like scripted gameplay, which I know a lot of people had complaints about with modern indie mascot horror. So this one's pretty interesting to see, because I think we haven't got any scripted gameplay and non-scripted gameplay for a while, since we only got like some minor ones like I think Granny and sort of Dark Deception if you count that.
Not from me.
So this one is interesting. Like the doctor, just menacingly creepy here. So this one. So there's basically now TV heads.
I've got some.
Yep, TV heads. For some.
Not from me.
So either of these are gonna be like, either like victims of the doctor. Like he's just transporting like human conscience inside like these like robotic like sort of esque beings. So
I've got some things.
and this one easily shocked me when I first watched it when it came out. Kissy is somehow alive. So either we might assume that she was either kidnapped and taken into the prison when she lured us down. So that's going to be interesting. How did she end up here? So I guess the two allies so far are going to be either Kissy and Poppy, or assuming Poppy if we can trust her.
I need to make this right.
Alright, the doctor, or we're assuming it's the doctor right here. And right here is definitely interesting. So this one is either like, it kind of gives me like a security bridge vibe, so we may actually get a sort of like Weeping Angels style gameplay again, like we did with Miss Delight. And with the Glam Rock Windows, it's security breach. Damn, I kind of missed that game, by the way. So, and here we have the Nightmare Crews themselves, which is very interesting, since there's something interesting about them, something that pretty much bugs me when I first saw it. So, alright, we got more bodies.
Let's make it.
And here I think it is the one that definitely stands out for me. This is definitely the sort of aside from the like the prison cells that we saw Dark Day and Catnap in from Chapter 3. This is probably the one we saw in like from that screenshot with the hidden bookcase. So now we know this is literally like either something like Yarnby based.
Good game of you.
And here we have the Nightmare Critters act. Probably we're not. So we're probably assuming that they're just gonna be not the new antagonists, the main antagonists at least. Since I know I know a lot of people got complaints that Nightmare Critters thing, well, which we'll get to later about my thoughts on the Nightmare Critters a bit. But I think something that stands out here is that basically all the critters are basically just like feel like they're like mint condition, like sort of not like worn out, like we saw like the mini critters in like Chapter 3 in the Playhouse segment. Like they're all not mutilated or their eyes not plucked out. So that's gonna be interesting. Like, so either these are like gonna be new. So either these are like either these are like either we're contained and not harming each other, or so yeah. Oh, and this one definitely stands out. We got Pianosaurus here just charging at us. So we're guessing it either can be an enemy. It's now gonna be an enemy to us.
I failed you.
Oh, yep. Okay, we got Baba Chops charging, leaping towards us. So that's gonna be terrifying. So now we got Nightmare Critters that are just gonna leap towards us instead of like crawling towards us and then just scaring the bejesus out of us. So that's gonna be terrifying even more. I've already been terrified once, so this is gonna be something.
You lied to me!
Alright, Poppy says, you lied to me. So either that's what she's saying to us or the doctor. So that's I thinking, but I feel like she's saying it to us. Either she might think we're the main reason she might think we're the main reason everybody is in this situation, since it was revealed that we are basically the scientists, part of the scientist group that made the bigger bodies. So, and now we get to our boy here, or sort of a Queen whatever-esque character. Oh my goodness.
Follow me.
I probably might say this once, and I probably might say it again when a chapter releases, but when I first, I think it might other people might think, like, when I first, heard his voice, at the end of here, he kind of sounds like Patrick Star from, SpongeBob a bit. Like, he kind of sounds like, I mean, I doubt it's Phil Foggerbot, because I kind of think he sounds like the Huggy Wuggy from the, cutout from Chapter 2, so I think that could be him, his actor. But I don't know, I still can't. I mean, I think he's either so I'm guessing he's like a parody of Frosty the Snowman, given the fact that. So it's unknown about Doughy so far. Either is he an ally, which we could probably be certain about that one. Right, and that's the end of the chapter so far. So yeah, lads, I think there's not much I can talk about here, just scared to get this out of the way first. So yeah, now we'll finally get to the Nightmare Critters. Oh boy, I am gonna need a hobby when this is over. Baba Chops, the black sheep of the bunch. Baba prefers to keep her space, like a lot of space, too much space. She can be distant, quiet, low energy, and it usually requires a lot of coaxing to get her out of the house. Luckily for her, she has some very persistent friends. She usually perks up after a while, but the next day, we are right back to the same two. Scent Anise. Icky Licky. Icky's the type of kid to fall behind in a relay race and immediately pin it on a sore knee. Even when that's not the case. He's the very definition of a poor sport. Even though he's naturally talented, he's constantly challenging everyone on absolutely everything. And usually without the outcome he expects. Don't worry, he has the excuse ready. Scent. Coffee. Raby Baby. Raby Baby couldn't keep a secret if her life depended on it. If there's one thing in the world she loves, it's gossiping. And she's very practiced at it. She has no concept of privacy or boundaries, and if she's in the room, you bet she's enslaving eavesdropping on someone. Don't worry, if she ever runs out of juicy secrets to talk about, she'll just mix them up. Scent bubblegum. Alistair Gator. Alistair's an all-around lazy guy. He's chill, sure, but if he could, he'd spend all day in the water doing pretty much nothing. He isn't a fan of the whole put it in effort and see that effort awarded bit. He's much more a believer of the philosophy, good things have to come to me eventually. I just need to wait around for it. He's still waiting. Scent sandalwood. Simon Smoke. Simon Smoke knows he's cool and popular, and he makes sure nobody ever forgets it. Whether showing off for friends or just brag about one of his accomplishments, it's always a popularity contest with him. Almost always, he wins. In truth, he's a colossal jerk. But he does have a knack for getting away with one. Scent wood smoke. Poe. Poe hates the sun and thinks it's a cruel trick of nature that the world needs it in the first place. Most comfortable in the dark, they spent their nights hanging around graveyards, listening to music, and feeling vigilantly angry at nothing in particular. They insist it isn't a phase. Scent cinnamon. Tui. It's pronounced Tui, is a self-proclaimed trash rodent. When he's not busy eating and collecting garbage, he's a lively conversationalist. He talks a lot, which is made all the more surprising by him having shockingly little to say. If you ever need someone to provide insightful commentary or some random piece of junk, Tui is your guy. Scent petrichor. Maggie Mako. Maggie is always thinking about her belly. She's happiest with her food in her mouth and believes us. She's not picky, she loves sweets, but veggies, yuck. Don't be surprised if she takes your health eating habits and vice with a dabble of sugar, some chocolate syrup, whipped cream, and a big cherry on top, all the while laughing at you profusely. Scent chocolate. So to keep this a little bit brief, so my thoughts on Nightmare Critters are just, I know a lot of people were complaining that they were just, they just feel a little bit unnecessarily added, just to, milk the whole Critter brand a bit, given the fact that, there are a lot of, Playtime Mob Entertainment basically, merchandised it a lot this past year. But in my opinion, at least, I kind of think the Nightmare Critter edition is just alright. I don't think they're necessary for Chapter 4, but I think they at least have a nice little... Since, I've seen a lot of, Smiling Critter OCs on the internet, so I think there might be an alright edition. But I know that one of them being, one of them were basically replaced Sheep Rampage's Sweet Sheep, so yeah, that's kind of one we gotta mention. But I think one of the critters I thinking might be a theory. There's one theory I think is connected to them, and that being one of them being Poe himself, for not only representing Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven story, but it's also a theory there's also a theory going around saying that basically Poe might be the first smiling critter. He's not only the first Nightmare Critter to be introduced, but also the first smiling critter to be ever introduced before Chapter 3 even released. So hear me out. There was basically, if you guys followed Playtime Mob Entertainment on Twitter in April of 2023, there was this comic-esque choose your own adventure thing with Bunzo Bunny on an Easter egg hunt. It started out cute, innocent, and then it gets pretty dark and graphic very quickly with Bunzo accidentally cracking open an egg with a baby bird inside, and he tries to get help, but he ends up falling down a dark hole, and he basically waited there for a long time, and then days later he ends up dying as a result, either starvation or getting attacked by something else. So yeah, pretty dark and grotesque. So basically, and it was speculated that we all thought it was basically a vulture who was going to be the main antagonist for Chapter 3, since this was a long time ago, way before the Smiling Critters brand was basically announced. It was basically way before we know who the real antagonist is. So basically we can assume it was a vulture character. but we actually do. But when we think about it, to keep it a bit brief, Poe is basically a raven, and ravens are known for basically eating carcasses of dead beings, such as like rabbits, birds, squirrels, and also humans as well. So we could either, and since we can see like Bundo's corpse is basically like their eyes are just plucked out of their sockets, so we could either assume that it's either from the works of Poe, and judging by us seeing the the Nightmare Critters in the gameplay trailer chapter 4, we could either assume that is the works of the Nightmare Critters or the the mini critters as well. In fact, we saw what happened to Dog Day what happened to Dog Day. So yeah, to keep it brief, I think in the theory, what started the theory was the YouTuber Terror Techno, who had the theory, did a theory video depth on it. So I'll probably leave his link. So his video link is going to be in the description, and you should check it out. Check it out. It's a really good video. Last thing I want to acknowledge is, or try and figure out and solve, is who are the Nightmare Critters exactly? Like, are they supposed to be like a new wave of plushies that were supposed to come out with the Smiling Critters even during the whole fiasco, or is there something else that really is connected between them? Well, I think the first thing we can theorize is that they're supposed to be like the main villains of like the Smiling Critters series before it got pulled from airing. It was supposed to be introduced before it got pulled, since every critter has definitely different personalities, definitely have opposite personalities to our original characters. So for example, Icky Licky has basically the poor sportsmanship, while Hoppy Hopscotch has the good sportsmanship, and Simon Smoke is technically basically kicking chicken with the egotism with him, and Poe is, or in this case with Tui being basically talkative, while Catnap is sort of silent. And then we got Maggie, who obviously represents Picky Piggy with the gluttony for sweets rather than veggies. But there's another thing that's also probably is that there was if you guys look at the orientation notebook, or if you guys have the orientation notebook, on page 35 there's actually a page that basically talks about the Smiling Critters cartoon, and it basically states the following: yeah, right, if the show had been a hit, you bet it would still be running today, and the most popular characters would have their own spin-off series, and there would be direct-to-video movies, and turned out to be only 58 minutes long. The show suffered because of the problems with the toy line, but the show itself was not liked either. Catnap was meant to be the calm, reassuring heart of the gang, but the audience didn't like how he never spoke, was distant from the others, and how he put the rest of them to sleep at night. Playtime Co. responded by pointing out the others wanted him to put them to sleep. That seemed to freak out the kids even more. It'll never be repeated. Playtime put it in the vault, but there's a thing called an internet bulletin board, where people who recorded it can get in touch with one another and swap it VHS copies. College students love it, apparently. So we're guessing either college students were so we could probably guess that the Nightmare Critters were supposed to appeal to a teen-like audience, sort of like goth-esque thing, kind of like an edgy style Critters show. So technically it's basically we can probably assume that they were planning to, either before the Hour of Joy came to light, they were trying to remake the Critter brand and erase the original Critters from existence, especially Catnap from existence, before they realized there's a trend with the whole college students swapping VHS things. So we could probably assume that too. So yeah, in comparison, I think that's all I have for them. And now we'll get to the next part of the second to last chapter in the video. To wrap up this video, let's get over the first thing we gotta get out of the way is basically the 12 days of playtime, which the Mob Entertainment Twitter account did for the 12 days of Christmas until the Doctor trailer. And there are some that don't mean anything, such as either, well, Boxy Boost, for example, which states, "Have y'all seen Roy and Stoll?" which is a reference to Morley Boxy Boo to being one of Boxy Boo's many victims, and in also stating that Boxy Boo was the first Bigger Bodies initiative. But I think the one that usually stands out to me was the Nightmare Critters, the original Smiling Critters, and also Kissy Missy and Dog Day. So let's go over the Smiling Critters real quick, and it states the following: a collection of experiments made in the image less than successful Smiling Critter toys. Each one was meant to have a unique role in play care, but of course, not all of them were successful. So we're probably going to assume that some of them weren't successful at all. So since we do get to see a concept of like Bigger Bodies Bobby Bear Hug and the Bigger Bodies in the orientation notebook, so we can probably assume that, and since we all know that the Bigger Bodies version of Bobby didn't go well as planned, so it could prove us that there are multiple attempts at making Bigger Body initiative of the critters, so, and that meaning that all of them were not successful surgeries other than Theodore Granville, aka Catnap, and Dog Day. So I think there's nothing about that one, so we'll go on to Nightmare Critters, which is pretty interesting. With our first one is being that there's a Smiling Critters plushies that we get to see in the trailer, and there's a VHS of the Smiling Nightmare Critters as well, which could either prove us that either this was planned to be a separate series from the original Critters, since due to the whole college VHS thing, and there's a note that also reads the following: a line of experiments that built off their predecessors, the Smiling Critters. Ironically, most of the Smiling and Nightmare Critter experiments got along rather well, at least for a time. Now that one's relatively interesting, since either we can assume that since the Nightmare Critters and Smiling Critters did get along, and so either we're assuming that we might see a quick cameo of the mini Smiling Critters, since we get to see a little Bobby Bear Hug in one of the mine shafts in one of the screenshots. But I think then again, we could probably assume that they're probably going to be the replacements for the mini critters, since I think we finished that story up. So yeah, I think so now let's get to the next one, that being Kissy Missy, and it states the following, and it's also pretty interesting. Like Huggy, Kissy is quiet and intelligent. Her calm demeanor made her approachable by the children and staff alike, right up until the hour. She has a hot spot for drawing and writing, even though she struggles using a pencil. And now that actually does make sense, since if you go into Home Sweet Home, and we actually could see Kissy in one of the rooms holding a picture, which does which could represent her at least once being a child orphan before she got into a bigger body. So we can assume that her human version was known for drawing. And if you guys think about it, there was a note that we got at the beginning of the game from Chapter 1, which basically we all thought was a note from either Poppy or one of the employees who is alive. But we kind of think, but other people theorize that, yeah, Kissy was probably the one who wrote the note. And it still makes us wondering, why are we the ones who were chosen to begin with, since, aside from, missing the Hour of Joy. So, and how did Kissy even get the letter sent to us to begin with? So that's going to be up to debate. And now the last one here is going to be Dog Day. And it's definitely one that's also interesting as well. Dog Day, by all accounts, is unconditionally loyal to the prototype. But wait, that can't be right. Perhaps it's a case of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So that one's definitely going to be interesting, as we all know Dog Day did fail the prototype, but resulting in him getting punished by Catnap, being imprisoned and tortured as punishment. So we can at least firstly assume that maybe the Bigger Bodies critters actually were loyal to the prototype before realizing that the Hour of Joy, or mainly Dog Day, we could probably assume that they wanted freedom, but didn't think that it will cost every single employee's life in the factory. So we could either guess that after the Hour of Joy, Dr. H basically prevailed on the prototype, resulting in being punished as a result. So yeah, it's actually a little bit concerning, since, you know, Dr. did prevail on the prototype, and then getting punished as a result. So yeah, it's a little bit dark, don't you think? Now to wrap up this video, let's check out the Amber Loves Bugs holiday photos, who you might know her for creating these smiling critters. And I'll probably leave her Twitter account in the description below. She is very talented, so I think I'll recommend you. So make sure to support her, because she's a very talented artist. So, but now without further ado, let's look at the photos. Let's analyze some of the photos. So there's the first one for Halloween this year. So I think in this one, I think is really, which I think I might say a lot for most of them. They're all, I think, really, really good with the characters and costumes, such as we got Kick-It in the Beetlejuice cosplay. And Baba Chops was hard for me at first until I zoomed in and it was realized it was Sans from Undertale with the Halloween bucket. And then we got Poe as I think it's Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas. So yeah, there's nothing out of the ordinary for this photo outside of hilariously Boxy just hanging out on the roof for no reason. But I think the one that easily stands out for the rest of us is basically Catnap wearing a bowler hat, which we might know belongs to Doughy the Doughman. And we'll probably talk more about him later. So I think there's something about this photo at all we can say, which other than how amazing it was. So on to the next photo, which is basically on the Thanksgiving season, where we got every character in Playtime Co. so far as a family having Thanksgiving together, with nothing too out of the ordinary. However, we get to see in a window, we actually get to see another character with a bowler hat, which we think is Doughy the Doughman. And I think on an upcoming photo, we'll probably might figure out more about him, and also another Nightmare Critter as well. So yeah, I think there's also nothing out of the ordinary for this one, which is still, by the way, Amber, amazing work though, by the way. Now the next one is definitely one I think there's a little bit some to unpack, since we already got some references to Chapter 4 with being, well, we got Mommy Longlegs carrying the cube from the symbol cube, which we see everywhere. And we get to see, well, Pianosaurus as the reindeer for Santa, and there's a character who is meant to look like Santa, and we'll talk about him in a bit. But there's something that easily that stands out a little bit for me, is that being morally this little lad right here in the background, which is supposed to represent Harley Sawyer, and it's sleeping right next to Baba Chops. Now it could be a bit of a stretch, so since, you know, this is before the gameplay trailer released it and we got more explanation on who the Doctor really is. But I think in my theory, I kind of feel like the Nightmare Critters, or in this case, or Baba Chops, or the Nightmare Critters being like, or in this case, like the miniature versions, are probably going to follow the Doctor, or minions of the Doctor, since, well, if you're thinking about it, since, you know, even though it wouldn't make sense, since, you know, in the Braun video, in the Braun Bigger Bodies video, you know, we all know that Playtime Co.'s orphans know which one is an orphan and which isn't, which result in them attacking the one that isn't an orphan, such as with Thomas and Braun's body. So yeah, I think even though this theory might be a stretch, it is still saying something. And then we get to the Santa part, who we're guessing is a mysterious character that we kept seeing in every photo, and that could interpret, and we all probably guessed it's probably going to be Doughy himself. And given the fact that he's being Santa, doing something like pulling out Santa's reindeer, we could probably assume that he actually could be a helpful ally to us until the very end. So yeah, I think that's a bit of a Or it's, I think that could be a believable theory than the whole Baba Shops following the doctor thing. But yeah, other than that, this still is a pretty adorable picture. Got the critters sleeping, and Raby upside down. So yeah, now we get to our last photo of this thing, of this clip show and the video. And by the way, yeah, link in description for Amber's Twitter account. So now we got the one for the New Year's Eve holiday, and we got our characters for Chapter 4. We got Simon, Alistair Gator, Baba, and Maggie Mago for the Nightmare Critters, Yarnaby, and Pianosaurus. And then we get to the Big Eye, which represents the Doctor. Now, I think a lot of people theorize that basically with the only Nightmare Critters being here, being Alistair, Baba, Maggie, and Simon, they were the only characters that were going to be in Chapter 4 with bigger bodies, which, since, you know, it could make sense since the only characters we saw in Chapter 3 with bigger bodies were basically Dog Day, Catnap, and also kind of Bobby Bear Hug in the orientation notebook. But I think that might be a bit of a stretch for me since, you know, they're not going to probably try and, since I feel like they're going to focus more on the Doctor than anything else. And probably with the Nightmare Critters being a little bit more of a minor enemy than anything else. So I think even though we might hopefully get some voice cutouts, since I saw a lot of headcanon voices on the internet about the Nightmare Critters, so can't wait for that one. Alright lads, so I think that's going to wrap up today's video and my first essay video. I hope you enjoyed my commentary, and if you guys want me to do more horror game essay videos, let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to do that. And stay tuned for my Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Oh no. Oh no. No, not right now. Not right now. Okay, whatever you do, lads, do not breathe the smoke. Ah!